Hello, everyone, and we'll get to that some other time. But we are so excited to welcome all of you to another exciting edition of Nat20Hot. If you're joining us for the first time, we are a group of friends who like to play Dungeons and Dragons together, and we've been doing this for almost a year now, which is very exciting. But if you're also joining us for the first time, or perhaps joining us once again, you know that we are doing this not just for fun, but we're also doing it for the children. Specifically, we're raising money for Extra Life, a wonderful foundation that supports over 170 children in hospital around the country. And all of that money goes towards life saving care. So we deeply encourage you to drop a donation at the link in our chat. We are closing in on our $1,000 goal for the year. And as this being one of our final sessions of the year, would certainly like to meet that goal tonight. If you're joining us for the first time, let's do a little recap of where we last left our heroes. When we last joined our folks, they were headed towards the Green Warden Dell in search of forgiveness from the Archdruid, but instead they found something very different. Discovering
Nothing but trouble.
themselves, nothing but trouble, discovering themselves to be in a deep, dank cavern underneath the great tree of the Green Warden Dell, left to die. Um, Escaping their root bonds, they meandered their way through some caverns. They conjured a giant rat to get them out of things, and instead discovered all manner of foul creatures that seemingly belonged to a hive mind. Perhaps the most concerning thing of all, though, finding remnants, a note left behind by Branwen's sister, Colette, which triggered the party into finding and seeking out their old ally, Brenna Dimbuckle, who had apparently guided her out of the place. However, they found her lost to the hive mind, whom inevitably introduced themselves as the Bramble Sovereign, an ancient guardian of the forest, who was not keen on letting them go. However, after some expert finagling from Willem and Dunk, they did manage to get their way out of the thicket, retrieve their weapons, and venture back to the Marigold Estate and plan their inevitable return to the Fey realm, where we now find ourselves in a dark forest, having stepped through the portal opened by Elray and into the multicolored, luminous abyss that is Branwen's home plane. Each of you finds yourself in a familiar place, specifically one with towering trees further than the eye can see, so tall they seem to block out the sun or moon, and plotting the entire area in a just deep darkness, if not for a blue hue let off by all manner of bioluminescent fungi and lamps and lanterns that light the way up to a shimmering silver city, which Branwen you immediately recognize as Silverhaven, and the rest of you all recognize as the place where you once bought Branwen's dead, decrepit, soulless body to
It's
be revived those many weeks ago. You're not quite in the city yet, but you are just outside of it and able to venture in, press on. What would you like to do?
beans. Are we like on the path?
Yes, you are on the path into the city, but there is a break point where you can kind of venture off. Branwen, having been here before, you've frequented Silverhaven as a child and as a young adult. You know that breaking left down the eastern road, it's a long, walk, but it would take you inevitably to Hylasera.
Okay. I'm gonna change my armor so that it has a hood. I'm just gonna put up immediately and just pull everyone into like the brush on the side so we're out of the way. Um okay. We're in Silverhaven. You guys have been here. Um I need to talk to somebody.
Thariel.
I have no idea where that guy is straight up. Um no, I need
I'll
to
ask
talk to
around.
somebody.
It's fine.
Oh, okay. Um I don't know if you guys are going to want to be there for that meeting. I think it'll be
Is it
better for
something
you
you'd
guys.
rather do alone?
It's more that I'm scared of what you guys will do in this.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah. Um, so I can meet up with you
So,
guys.
how long will it
Yeah.
take? You're
Um,
kind of our guide here.
um, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could keep one of you guys with me just in case things get really bad. Um,
Whomst among us would stand out the least here?
stand out the least?
Yeah.
I would say probably you or Dunk, maybe. Actually, yeah.
Because, I mean, I could just go drink with some locals at a bar while you do what you do.
I
Okay.
can also disguise myself, but hanging out with Dunk at a bar also does sound fun. More fun than whatever this meeting you have to do is.
Yeah, honestly, you're the person that I'd be scared to say the worst things during this meeting.
Yeah, like
So
how you died.
you kind of have a problem with authority sometimes, most of the time,
This is true.
and it often comes across very poorly.
Yep, because
Okay,
things
I'll
went so
go.
great with the Archdruid, right?
What?
Because things went so great with the Archdruid when I kept my mouth shut, right?
I'm talking about
You didn't
literally every
talk.
single authoritative figure that we've ever met. You picked a fight with Elray, dude.
She's
Elray
right.
picked a fight with me. And we're cool now. Anyway. I will not be going with you.
Okay, how about Randy stick with me? Cena and Dunk and Willem go do other things.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like what you're doing is going to be kind of boring. So,
Yeah.
Dunk, let's find some chicks. Maybe some dudes.
to fight some shit?
No, let's find some chicks. Maybe some dudes.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, can you guys just get a pulse on this Thariel guy, since that's like the reason we're here?
If we go around asking about Thariel, is that being like, hey, have you guys heard of, I don't know, like Jesus?
No, it's gonna be more of like, have you talked to Fantasy Santa Claus lately?
Okay.
We've met Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I know.
We killed
Jesus was just one guy. He's like a random guy nobody knows about, which is why I was like, if we ask them, is this like, do you know Jesus? It's like, are we just asking about nobody,
No.
or are we asking about a big deal?
Uh,
Most people don't think he's real. I kind of also
Okay.
still don't think he's real. So
you guys are fools.
I believe you, Randy.
okay, I grew up my whole life like hearing stories about this guy. So like,
Did he bring you presents on fake Christmas?
mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's not how that works.
It's fake Christmas. Facemas.
Face miss.
Well, anytime a person is being celebrated, that's their myth. You know, we've had Willem myth and Dunk myth and Randy myth, and now we're
Mhm.
having Branwen myth. And Christmas is when you celebrate a guy named Chris.
Wow!
We're celebrating Chris. Oh, that's
Which
fun
is a
now.
silly name that nobody would ever have.
It's true.
Guys, we all gotta give Chris $5 for Christmas because it's his birthday.
You can make it even better by giving it to Extra Life
Yeah!
at the link in the chat.
Whoa!
Guys, give Chris $5 via Extra Life. Talking
Give
to
the
you.
children $5 on Chris's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway,
So to
see you
confirm,
later.
Willem, Dunk, Cena heading off into Silverhaven, God's nowhere. Branwen, Randy, where are you two headed?
I'd probably tell them the name of like a bar.
Okay, let them tell them a bar.
Oh gosh. I only have bar names for my place.
It's not true. I gave you 3 bars that you would know of in Discord.
That's for Hylicera though.
And I also shared separately in
What
a
was that?
non-document
Oh,
I say
in
we
our
should just
chat.
start walking away before Branwen can remember the name of a bar, and we'll find it
Christopher,
ourselves.
please help me out so that we
All
can keep
right.
this moving.
You have not provided a name of a bar, but Branwen or Willem, Dunk, and Sina are already well underway into the city. Where are
We'll
you
figure
two
it out.
headed?
I once they walk off, I'm just gonna stay where I am and I'm gonna cast sending to Aravan. And I will say, hey girl, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's me. I'm here on business. I think we need to talk. Where do you want me to meet you?
Okay.
Because last time I went into town, he got pissed. And I couldn't even control that because I was a corpse.
Yep. You sure were.
You sure were.
You hear in your mind um, the familiar, gravelly, deep voice of your former patron, Branwen. Yes. Meet at the parlor, if this is truly business. That is all you hear. And you would know the
Which is in a
parlor to
different
be the...
city.
No, so the parlor of the city. The governing houses
Okay.
are referred to as parlors.
All right. Let's go. Come on,
Okay.
Randy. Okay, we're
So,
about to meet with a whole bunch of real uppity people. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm historically very good at talking to these people.
Borderline psychopaths.
so
Oh,
the two of you,
The
as
worst
you're
of the worst.
walking,
historically,
Socialites.
look, they sound like great people.
Mm.
the two of you, as you're heading into the city, it's kind of difficult to say what hour of the day it actually is. Like you feel tired. You're really not certain if that's like kind of the strain of planar travel having taken the toll upon you, or if it's just like the general kind of soothing aura of the city. Generally speaking, as you kind of walk through like this kind of great ornate, almost garden gate, you feel almost kind of like lulled to sleep by this very gentle breeze. It's quite cool. There's these shimmering blue lights given off by the various fungi and the odd enchanted lamppost. And you're walking down like the main street, Branwen, you know it to be the Silver Way. And the Silver Way is kind of bisected. It's a very large street, but it's bisected by this kind of very quaint flowing river, not unlike your experience from Conway's Ferry, but it's much more gentle and kind of lulling down. As you kind of look down below you, kind of the almost like a, I forget what you would call the things in Venice, but channels,
Canal.
canals.
Canals.
Looking down into the canal, you kind of see the odd gondola passing below you. It's just like kind of leveraging this very lazy current to pull them deeper into the city. Are you stopping
Are
anywhere
there
along the way,
ducks?
or are you walking with purpose?
I am here with the
Cool.
purpose. I want to get it over with.
I'm just
Randy,
following her.
yeah, it all feels very nice to you for the first time, given the kind of dire circumstances that you arrived here previously. It's the first time you're really able to appreciate the beauty of the place that you found yourself in. None of it feels very familiar. Obviously, you kind of rushed through it the previous time you were here, but at the same time, it is a rather lovely place and a rather large place, especially in comparison to what you're familiar with on the material plane. But inevitably, the low rooftops of the city blocks kind of give way to this tiered structure up ahead of you. There's these very well carved wooden pillars that are clearly the remnants of some of the trees, like the behemoth trees that have been felled from outside, and they form this kind of circular partition around a larger structure within. Um, so the ornate like archways kind of connect these large pillars that start to give way to the tiered structure. And Branwen, I will have you roll a perception check.
Hey, oh boy. Okay. 17.
17, you very easily notice that these are recognizable faces, and you recall them from the last time that you were here, or rather, the last time you were here as a young adult. That these are very much like the faces of the ruling monarchs of each of the four courts. Silverhaven being a wild city, it falls under the dominion of each of them rather than any one individual court. You do, however, recognize that the Autumn King, who you knew quite, you knew of, has clearly been updated recently. Like the carving is more ornate. He now wears a crown of thorns, and whereas the rest of them are the same as you remember, his bluff is slightly different.
Hey,
Go ahead, Brandy.
Branwen, are we what am I what should I expect here? Like, is this going to be an interaction that's going to be full of fighting,
Um, in a
or is this more of
sense,
a diplomacy thing?
this is a definitely diplomacy thing
Why?
because I'm still not supposed to be here.
So we're going in there and telling them that you got to be here?
Yes, and also seeing if they have anything about Santa Claus. That's for real. Thariel. Thoriel?
All right. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in. All right, sounds good.
And just warning you, they are going to laugh in our face. I know it for a fact.
In my face?
Probably both of ours.
Oh,
Potentially
your
separate reasons.
face.
No, both of our
Whatever.
faces.
We got dumb faces anyway. Let's go in.
Okay.
You all step beneath kind of the looming archway, and the river actually follows this kind of similar pattern below it, looping around this ornate building in front of you with a handful of small bridges that guide you over it and deeper into the complex. But the building in front of you is quite lovely, but it's actually largely open to the air outside, with another smaller series of archways that lead into this kind of inner ring, which is flanked by doorways and offices. And it's at this point that you actually start to see the hustle and bustle pick up as opposed to the quietness of the city streets that you just walked down. Instead, you see, the odd satyr and fairy kind of flitting between the different doorways, carrying parcels and parchment, and just making sure they all seem to be walking with purpose and pace between the different places and the offices. Um, Branwen, you've never been to this parlor per se, like you've never actually been here in this particular place, but you know from what you're familiar with that these are the offices of the ruling court, and that you're just essentially looking for Erevan's office.
Yep.
Are you asking anybody about him, or are you just looking for?
Um. Yeah, I'll ask the front desk lady person.
There is no particular like front desk. It's kind of just open, but you could certainly grab any passerby.
Yeah, I'll just grab the first person that seems like they work here, but maybe is a bit lower down on the totem pole. Just ask him where Lord Aravan's office is.
You manage to kind of put your hand up and interrupt the path of a passing fairy, who's kind of like looks very busy, has these very small spectacles, and is clearly just scanning through a number of parchment papers in front of them, and they kind of screech to a halt in front of you. What do you ask me? What do you ask me? Lord Erevan Ukel? Yes. fourth door from the left. Don't go right, but if you go too far, you'll be lost.
Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And he just buzzes off. You find the
Fourth.
instructions a bit difficult to follow, but kind of guiding along, you inevitably arrive at Ervin's door.
And
Before you can knock, however, you hear a familiar, dealy voice. I would
no.
recognize that red hair anywhere.
I have my hood up, Chris. I have my hood up.
You do have your hood
You
up,
son of a
that's
bitch.
right.
I was peeking up the sides.
No,
But
instead
I
he
have
just
my
says,
sword. I do have my sword.
begging your pardon, is there something that I can help you both find? And you wheel
Yeah, we're looking
around.
for.
Go ahead, Randy.
I was like, yeah, we're looking for Aravind.
Well, it would appear as though you Well, and Branwen, as you kind of turn, you see the familiar, just chilly blue skin of Valthor Frostbane standing before you. Yes. My, I did not realize that you had received an invitation to return to us, Miss Foxprior. I
I'm here
would
on
be
business.
remiss if I did not say that it was a displeasure to see you once again.
I figured.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'll be out of the city soon.
Uh, Soon can't come soon enough. What brings you here for Lord Erevin?
I'm here on business.
Business. Well, the reality is, my dear, banished people rarely have business. So why don't you tell us, for the good of the court, what you're doing here? Or
Um,
should I perhaps call upon Uriel?
I did get a letter from Elray.
You did get a letter, yes.
Yeah, I'll just pull that out and give it to him, I guess.
He kind of his very like thin, narrow fingers, and he plucks the letter out of your hands, and he opens it up daintily. Hmm.
And Branwen absolutely did not read this at all.
Yeah, he kind of scans it, his eyes quickly darting back and forth. The word of a common elf. This is what you place your honor upon now, my dear? I suppose it wasn't worth much to begin with. And he
My
passes the
task,
letter back to you.
my task that I was sent to do as part of my punishment was to serve that elf. And it's brought me here.
Hmm. Not typically in the domain of the material planes cities to decide who can and should return to the Fey realm, but I am but a humble servant of the Earl King. So, if it is Lord Erevin that you seek, it is Lord Erevin you shall see. Do not allow me to interfere with you any further. And he starts to
Can I
step
insight
away.
check whatever the heck that was?
Sure.
18.
He's delighted in a very not great way that you're here.
Oh god, I'm so
Um,
screwed.
and he will kind of turn on his heels before retreating. He goes, and I presume that you come bearing an apology for Walder. Will you be making your way to Hylaceroid in your time here?
I will.
With an apology in hand, no doubt.
Potentially. That's for him to know.
Eventually. Do not forget that you brought
I
great disgrace upon your family and my own with that stunt you pulled.
Very hard to forget.
Oh, good. He'll pull himself back up and kind of straighten his, realizing that he might have maybe like your insight check kind of gives you insight into he might have pushed it too far there, and he goes, "Pleasant day to you all." And he will turn and step away.
and I'm Randy.
He kind of looks back over his shoulder and pays you no mind. Before we head into the office, Willem and Dunk and Cena, you find yourselves walking through Silverhaven, um, seeing all manner of shops and lovely little taverns that you could potentially pop into. You also see a familiar kind of pathway. Willem, it kind of looms large in your mind, given the pressure of the day at hand, the path that you took to Cleo and Poppy's house. But ultimately, the air is cool and peaceful. And every now and then, make a perception check.
I perceive 10.
Nat 1.
Dunk, you are blissfully ignorant of everything happening around you. Willem, you have like this sneaking suspicion that eyes are following you, but you can't tell if it's just your normal dose of paranoia. Um,
I'm gonna just I'm gonna turn to Cena and I will ask, I maybe should know this, but have you ever been here before?
make an insight check.
That would be an 11.
She just looks dumbfounded. Like she's just looking at everything that she's passing by with just
Okay.
completely awestruck wonder, and doesn't even really hear your question at first. Like she's kind of just scanning, looking down into the canal, poking her head into like every window that she can as you guys walk down the street, and she hears your comment and she goes, "Um, what? What?
Sorry, I was just wondering if you've ever been here before.
No, no, not as such. You have, right?"
Yeah, and I point down the road towards Cleo and Poppy's, and I go, "We went there when Branwen died."
Um, Branwen died?
Oh, did you not know that?
No. I didn't know that. So you all came here because she died? And this is like where she's from, right?
Yeah. So, long story, we were fighting with Gordon Trunchmer. Randy was real pissed about the whole situation, and during that fight, Branwen died. And then I had this cool planar amulet, which let us come back here because Randy couldn't bring her back at the moment. And so I figured that somebody here would be able to. And that is exactly what happened. But not before we all had a very scary drug trip where our worst fears were shown to us.
She kind of pauses on the corner of the street and she goes, "You really have a tendency to just information dump huge portions of things that answer a lot of the questions that I have, which included the fact that I was very curious to learn who finally killed that bastard. So I suppose thanks are in order. You also answered
Oh,
my
yeah, that was
question of
Dunk, I'm
how.
pretty
Oh
sure.
yeah, that was me. I did
Yeah.
that.
You also answered the question of how in the world Randy managed to pull Dady to the Feywild, and that would be this planar amulet that I was supposed to procure. So thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to
And
let
I'm just
this
going to
ruin
look
what
at
is
her
otherwise
and
a
go,
really good time.
I'm just going to go, uh, I'm an open book. I feel like people have been keeping things from you for forever, and I want to assure you that I will not do that. I run my mouth at all times.
Not much is clear.
Yeah, anything that we've kept from you has been purely just didn't even think about telling you.
Well,
So
to be fair,
anything, whatever that means.
I was trying to kill you for a decent portion of that time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we put a stop to this and find a bar.
Do they
I
take gold here?
I don't know. I, like you, have never been here. Or rather, unlike you.
Oh, we here. Yeah.
Yeah, we had other things on our mind than bar. But
Was there somewhere else that
Well,
you
where
wanted
do
to
you
go
think
that
you're gonna
wasn't a
find
bar?
chicks and dudes at a bar?
oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry, what was on your mind?
Oh no, I meant the first time we were here. We had a
Oh,
thing.
yeah. No, we were not looking for chicks or dudes that time.
Yeah, but now, I don't know. I guess we can.
Willem will sort of extend his hands and crack his knuckles and go, I am single and depressed.
Let's go find some dudes. Or chicks, or thens.
Yeah. I don't discriminate.
Whatever they got in the Feywild, I don't even know.
Let's get
Are you
Fey
going
wild.
to attempt to find just like the closest tavern, or are you going to ask somebody? What is your plan?
Yeah, I'll walk up to somebody as we're passing the street and be like, excuse us, we're from out of town, and the three of us were looking to get a drink and maybe something to eat. Could you point us in a direction for that sort of thing?
You pass by a rather lanky-looking Eladrin fellow who kind of looks the three of you up and down and kind of lingers on Cena for a little bit. She goes, uh, um, s- looking for a place to get a pint. Sure. There's a couple places that come to mind. What's your fancy? You looking for a party? You're looking for something more laid back? And
Insight check.
what's
Does that guy think Cena's getting human trafficked?
you, you are not there. But
Insight check. Does this
forgot.
guy think Cena is getting human trafficked, or does this guy want to human traffic Cena?
make an insight check.
That would be a 12.
You think it's really you've never seen a human before.
Okay, no human trafficking. That's good.
Yeah, generally what we're about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, something kind of. Why don't we start with something kind of laid back? Get a few drinks.
Laid back, yeah, sure. You can't go wrong with the Vesper. It's a bit more laid back, quiet place. Um, great mixed drinks if you're into that kind of thing. Not the best ale, but certainly they put things together that is worthy of a sip. I think they do live music sometimes. Certainly worth a good spot to start with a conversation if that's what you're interested in.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if we were looking for a party,
A party, well, that'd be the fly by night. Different party on every floor, if you know what I'm saying. If you're looking for
can I insight check? Does that mean it's a sex club?
That's what it sounds like.
you don't need to insight check, and it's not what it sounds like, but you get the impression that that might be what's there because you don't know how to.
You would say
You
that's
don't
the
know about
impression that I get.
yeah. It's the impression that you get.
Thank you.
But if you're looking for the Vesper, it's 2 blocks that way.
Thank you kindly.
All right, you all head off in search of the Vesper. Branwen and Randy knock on the door of Lord Irvin Euchel, and he is there waiting and opens it. His kind of large frame filling up most of the doorway, and he kind of backs up, and you're reminded again that this is a centaur before you. Um, and he
I
kind of
am reminded.
and I figured you all had forgotten that. And he kind of backs up and affords you space into the office. And he looks at you inquisitively, particularly Randy, and goes, "Ah, the thief."
Oh, no,
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot
you
about
got
that.
yoinked hard.
Well, I can only assume that this is how you returned here, but I would not assume you so bold, Branwen, as to return without a reason. So I can only
I hand
assume that
him.
you were invited.
I hand him my letter from El Rey, which is definitely getting me places.
He yanks it a little bit more forcibly than how Valthor took it, and he kind of scans the papers. Elray is, well, he thinks very highly of himself, but he is not to be mistrusted. What brings you here today?
I think I am just gonna sit down and basically tell him almost everything.
Go ahead.
The one thing I leave out is Cena.
Okay. So, can you give me like bullet points of what you are telling him?
Basically, it's gonna be essentially a summary of my Pepe Sylvia board. So it's gonna be the entity known as she, aka the big purple dot, being some kind of thing that we don't know what it is. Some suspicions that it's masquerading as the Winter Queen for sure. What else? That we have a lead that this one Thariel guy might know more about it. And that's why we're here, is to look for a fairy tale man.
As she's talking, every once in a while I'll interject with like, things are real bad, man. Shit's fucked. Like stuff like that.
I will advise that you mind your tongue in this chamber.
Oh, I brought him
What?
because he's probably tied for the most reasonable one of our stupid little group.
Which
So
is
you mean
insane, right?
Please, so you mean to tell me that you've brought to me today and have been sent here by the man that we entrusted your rehabilitation with, that you come in search of fairy tales and would rather accuse the Winter Queen of falsities and endangering the material plane?
Oh
And that in
no,
order
I'm
to
saying the Winter
disprove
Queen.
that, you need to speak to a fantasy creature.
I mean, the part about the Winter Queen is more of like a side detail. But I imagine she's not going to be super pleased that someone's been possibly masquerading with her. Um, but yeah, no, trust me, I don't want to be here.
You don't wish to be here and return to your family.
I mean, it would be nice, but I know when I'm not welcome.
I can consider and think of a way that you would be welcome. But before we get to that, allow me to establish one very simple fact. The Winter Queen and the Errol King have eyes and ears everywhere. I've let
Oh
you
yeah, I
into
ran
my
into one of
office.
them on the way in here.
Yes. Yes, I heard Valthor's whining. You must be careful before you go about throwing accusations of fairy tales and dissent among the courts. We have enough problems here as it is.
Oh,
That's
I hope to interact with them as little as possible, I assure you.
Well, if you're interested in figuring out more about anything that the Winter Queen might be up to here in Yusan, or rather in Yusan, well, Sylphina and the Lavender Parlor would certainly be your best bet. They keep things locked down over there. I highly doubt that they've been able to get their prying eyes into the Summer Court's inner circle. As for
So talk to Soph.
Thariel,
Yes.
you chase a fantasy, Branwen. I know your father is a fan of fairy tales, but I did not assume that you would fall for them so hook, line, and sinker. I thought your mother and I taught you better.
See, it's honestly kind of, you know what, Randy? You know the more than I do.
Sorry, I was distracted. Did we know this guy's your dad?
What?
Her dad, he said him and his
That's not my
mother as a
dad.
no, he's his mentor. He's her mentor and trainer.
Oh, okay. I misinterpreted what you
No,
said.
no, no. Can Randy canonically have said that?
I want to say that though. Still, yeah.
We
I'm
both
not
are
her.
just like, no.
I'm not her father. I am her patron. She fought in my service. Her father. Well, I would not be a man. A noble man if I spoke ill of another one.
What was the question?
You come here telling me that you chased fairy tales. That this mortal elf has sent a banished individual back to the Fey realm under complete violation of the reason that she was sent away in the first place, claiming to seek a creature that
Yeah.
does not exist.
That's really funny that you say that because Adara, the goddess who I've talked to several times, told me that he's real and he knows a lot about whatever's going on. He kind of seems like the thing I gotta do to stop, our plane of existence from ending.
Branwen, you say you come here on authority, but you bring malcontents who prattle stories about things that simply cannot be real. You, my friend, have spoken to gods. I find this hard to believe.
Yes, and I don't mean to tell you lies, sir. You
I
think
mean,
I'd come here just to look for a Santa man for no reason?
I don't know what you mean by Santa Man, but I know that Branwen would likely do anything to get herself back to her family, including make up lies. What would Amar say?
Branwen's been trying to get away from her family, it really seems. Doesn't talk about him a lot. I find it really weird.
Hmm. So, if you come here for answers, you won't find them. What is it that you would have me do, Branwen?
we just got here. The first thing that I could think of to do when I got here was to make sure that I could be here. And that's why I came straight to you.
Well, like I said, I am discomforted by your return, but you have a letter, and I assume you wouldn't be bold enough to fake a return, so the reality is I haven't heard from Amar or the Lavender Parlor in months. So perhaps you are in the clear, as it were.
What do you mean?
Well, I haven't exactly been in the best standing of late, and if you want my honest feedback, I am someone who can be an ally of yours, but I would demand something in return. You've sullied my good name and stuck me here in the mother of all cesspool cities in a nobility role that I have never sought nor desired. I yearn to return to the hunt, but the Earl King refuses to name a replacement for me. He believes me unfit to be the Lord of the Wild Hunt after your actions. So here I am, idling away the hours, governing a city that need not wish to be governed by the likes of me. So plead my case. Be my steward once again. Get the Earl King to name me as Lord of the Wild Hunt once more. Your debt will be forgiven, and I will to help you chase fairy tales, I suppose.
Would the Earl King know where Thariel is? Because sorry, Branwen, because I gotta say, when I'm, trying to save the world or whatever, and I'm hearing that this person that, again, the goddess Adara told me to find isn't real, you gotta understand that's like a very distressing thing to hear.
I don't know what makes you think you have the right to prattle on about your emotions in my office, but I understand this is a lot for you on a different plane of existence. You are finding out that this quest that you're on is likely meaningless, but the reality is there is no threat to the material or Fey realm that we would not know about. Something tells me that you're being fed false information. And if you're so concerned
Yeah, that's
about
what
people
everybody.
who are hearing voices, perhaps this woman who masquerades the Winter Queen is not above masquerading as a goddess.
Oh no, don't worry. We've also considered that.
No, that's not it.
I've also considered that. So wait, okay. Backtracking slightly. Number one, you want me, who everybody openly hates, to
Branwen,
negotiate with the Earl King?
let's make one thing very clear. Everyone in the summer court hates you. That's to be sure. Everyone in the wild hunt hates you. I am not your biggest fan. However, I would not sully your good mind with the thought that you mean anything outside the walls of Hyla and to likely Valthor Fosbane, who still hates you for nearly killing his son, which, quite frankly, I've met his son, wasn't a huge fan of him to begin with. So, yes, I do think it's well within your considerable lack of power to go and be another voice in favor of my return to the post as Lord of the Wild Hunt to the Earl King.
The second thing, you said that you hadn't heard from Amar or the Lavender Parlor in a long time.
Yes. Well, I know I'm not exactly a favorite over there. No small thanks to you, but traditionally I would receive some type of direction for cultural events or nobility we would like praised in a given month, or new holidays that we are introducing in the name of the summer court here in Silverhaven. But I have been largely allowed to govern unimpeded, which means I've largely been able to not do anything with little recourse.
Is he Ron Swansoning?
Oh, you just get the impression, especially based on what you know about him previously, that he hates anything that's like a desk job. Like he was the lord of the wild hunt. Like he basically got to run around all day killing beasts in the name of the summer court, and recruiting great warriors to his cause.
Um, about Amar, I have heard a rumor that no one has seen him in a very long time.
I have no time for rumors, Branwen. They are the liquor of fools. And if you want to talk to ones, talk to Uriel. That fool loves rumors. But I would advise you that as a member of the Summer Court, you would do well to only speak the best of your king in the public arena.
I'm not trying to speak ill of
You would
him.
say that he is an absentee leader, would you not? I believe that's what I heard. That's not the conduct becoming of someone wishing to rejoin their court.
No, I'm expressing concern.
Ah, concern. Well, sounds like you want to go to Hyla after all. Perhaps your sister would know something about that. I heard she's the latest guardian of the latrines.
Oh
I'll
yeah. No, you were talking about your sister before. She seems cool.
What do you want me to tell the Earl King?
I would simply just remark about all the wonderful things I'm capable of as Lord of the Wild Hunt. You should know them well. Remind him that without me, the Wild Hunt is forgettable. Nobody's talking about it. No one's celebrating it. We haven't ridden in weeks. He's preoccupied. You must remind him of its importance. And if you can't get to the Earl King, then go through one of his underlings. Start with Uriel. I'm sure they would be willing to, well, no. As a matter of fact, don't tell Uriel. Set out the middleman. Go straight there. You'll be seen as a brilliant young upstart. This piddling nobody, demanding justice for a godlike warrior. Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, I think you'd be great at this. You're so disappointing. It's difficult to
Who's the
do that.
middleman?
Uriel, go straight to the Earl King. It'll be better.
Wait. God, okay. Do you want me to go to Uriel or the Earl King?
The Earl King.
How do I get
And
to the
then
Earl King?
you'll tell us where this guy who's for sure not real is.
I told you,
Can
I don't know where
can
he
I
is. I'll
insight
simply,
check?
I will help you.
Can I insight check this guy's knowledge on Thalriel / his
You can,
reactions?
you can insight check him saying that it's a fantasy and see how it holds up.
Yeah, why not?
I think the insight check should go to, is he actually going to help us?
Yeah, that's more it. I got a 19.
Yeah, he's not lying. You can tell this guy like really wants his job back. But you also like don't you can tell that he's not really invested in anything except that.
Okay.
So do I have your blessing to go to Hylasera?
He'll kind of rise and like he'll sneeze. He will
Bless
kind of
you.
thank you. He'll stomp his
I know I
hoofs
said that to
just a little bit.
Araman.
Thank you. He'll kind of gently stomp his hoofs upon the ground and look over at you and get. Swear to me that you'll plead my case to the Earl King, and then yes, you shall have my blessing for a temporary stay of banishment.
All right. I'll swear that.
It is so decreed. Let it be known henceforth to whatever. Just, just tell people I said it's fine.
Okay.
Are you doing anything else?
Nope.
All right. He
Um,
will kind of push past you and open the door for you. He goes, It's not good to see you back here, Branwen. I've missed your peculiar charm."
insight check.
He misses you immensely.
7.
Seems genuine.
Fine.
Willem,
I
Dunk,
Don't say
Cena,
anything back to him.
It's Will Sink.
Will Sink. That's very good. Will Sink. Kind of sounds like Lil Sink. You make your way down a few blocks and inevitably um, make your way to a quaint little tavern. It has a very narrow brick and mortar, almost like a row home on a side street off of the main path. And there is a little like martini glass signpost outside that says "The Vesper" in elegant handwriting. And you can see from within that it's quite dark inside. And when you actually step through the door, a faint bell chimes. And you can see that the tables are lit with little candles that cast warm glow, like pockets of light and glow throughout, but otherwise it's a very dimly lit space, and that the only light is surrounding some of the tables. So it appears upon first glance it's kind of seat yourself, like nobody's there waiting on you or anything of that nature.
Dunk, you're muted. Evan, if you're speaking or were speaking, you are muted.
I forgot I was muted. Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'll snag a table.
All right. The three of you venture. It takes a little bit, like you venture past like 5 or 6 tables before you finally find an open one. And as you sit down, you kind of pass through this faint like ripple. And while the bar itself isn't very noisy, it almost becomes muted and dull as you sit down in your space, and you can all hear each other very clearly, while the outskirts of the restaurant and bar are much more quiet. You get the sense you've kind of passed through this like charm that's set up to keep your conversations private.
This is the greatest thing that I've ever heard. I wish this was real.
Yeah.
Willem will sort of look between Cena and Duncan and be like, "This is nice."
As you kind of look at the table in front of you, fake little pops appear as you sit down, and the menus kind of materialize in front of you. And it's a very short list. There's a limited number of food options available, mostly like well cut meats and cheeses. This is a cocktail bar. And all of the cocktails are like bespoke, named appropriately, and don't exactly list what's in them, and are clearly based on the mood that you would like to establish at the table.
Is there one called the Horny?
There, there is no cocktail called the Horny, but there is one called the Exciting Evening. You can go for that.
I was gonna say fun and flirty.
Is there one called Promiscuous Girl?
Sure. There is a cocktail called the Promiscuous Girl.
Willem will order 3 of those for himself.
Nice.
It is at this moment that a well-dressed gnome woman approaches the table. She's wearing like a buttoned-up white shirt with a faint little kind of like, not a bow tie per se, but a ribbon that kind of
Like
dangles.
a bolo tie?
A bit like a bolo tie, but not a bolo
Nice.
tie. It's like a ribbon that's kind of nestled around her throat. And she talks to you like, and so 3, that'll be 3 promiscuous girls. Can I be interesting you in any food tonight?
Yeah, some of the cheese.
Cheese platter for the table. Well, we hope you enjoy your night with us at the Vesper, and if they'll be needing anything, just ring the bell. And she kind of gestures down, and where you hadn't seen one before, there is a small little dingle bell that you can ring if you ever need service. Just, the drinks will arrive shortly, but like I said, ring the bell if you be needing anything else. Enjoy.
This place
And
is
she
magical as shit.
ventures
Nolan
off.
says that, not Willem.
Well, Willem, for the first time, really each of you, given that you've never been in a place like this, are just kind of floored by the volume of magic. Magic exists in the material plane. Obviously, you're very familiar with it, but it is never this flamboyant or out there. People tend to kind of keep it low or aren't as educated in it to create such like to waste their time on such banalities. So this is all like wondrous to you. Like you're pretty captivated by the experience that you're having. Um,
Yeah.
and within a few moments, the gnome waitress returns with a platter of drinks and shares them with you. And yeah, the night is yours. The drink arrives. Apologies, I did not describe. And it is served in a coupe glass, and there's a faint white foam top to a lavender colored beverage inside. And atop the white foam are these 3 red droplets in like quick succession.
So, Chris, you're gonna make this actual drink now, aren't you?
I will. I'll make it. Yeah.
I feel necessary to like As soon as you said white foam, I'm just thinking the drink is topped with cum, and I know the drink is not topped with cum, but
It's not. Very much not.
yeah.
If yours is foamy, you might.
Also, it
inject-
definitely.
okay.
Cena will turn to the group here, and Dunk, just so you know, you're very hard to hear now. You used to not be hard to hear. Now you are hard to hear. Cena
Can't
will
win.
turn to the group, and she's kind of sipping, and has a little faint smile. And then, as she looks up at the two of you, kind of puts the smile away immediately, and goes, "So, we haven't hung out much.
Nope.
Um, sorry about your girlfriend.
Yep.
I am sorry about that. I know what it's like to lose someone. If you want to talk about that."
Well, maybe you can relate to this, but it's not so much that I've lost someone as somebody I thought I knew and maybe even loved turned out to be a very different person the whole time who had nothing but malicious intent towards me.
Well, maybe you're not sad that you lost them. You're sad about you lost what you thought your life could have been.
Yep. Oh, I've been doing that for a long time.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
You feel like
Yep.
you have this plan for things and the way things are supposed to go, and you meet someone who makes you think that that's all going to work out, and then that person leaves you. Or in your case, they turn out to be like your mortal enemy.
Yeah. Willem is at this point just doing 1,000-yard stare and just chugging the drink.
So kind of in
Dude,
your
promiscuous
kind of
girl
in
is
your case
bringing
too,
a
right?
weird vibe.
What was that, Dunk?
I said kind of in your case too. Turned out to be your mortal enemy, at least for a little bit.
I
Yeah,
turn to Duncan. I go, "She's talking about Randy.
and he's right. He's definitely right.
Randy's your mortal enemy?
Well, he was for a little while there. I
You really wanted to kill him."
really felt like that was the only thing I needed to do or had to do. That's what she always told me.
So, like, how you feeling about stuff now?
Well, I guess I know I haven't been outwardly appreciative of all of you, but y'all have been good to me after I tried to kill you. So, thank you. And I don't know. I guess I'm okay. Being here is nice. It's different. Feels like an opportunity to start fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, bro. I'll drink to that.
As she cheers, she kind of looks down at the drink and just goes, I don't know about you guys, but I'm also a little scared.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we're scared all the time.
I just,
Randy coming in here with the whole, like, oh, the world is totally fucked and gonna end, and, like, it's your responsibility to do something about it, or, like, our responsibility is, not an insignificant amount of pressure. And, like, me and you, we're just teens.
she's 25. Um,
Oh, that's basically a teen.
she's, yeah. I also just feel like part of the whole mission was to get here, or at least that's what I thought it was. And now I'm here, and it's
Yeah.
like, what if, what if she finds me here? If she is here after all.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's valid. Uh, I mean, I may be being very forward right now and making a promise I may not totally be able to keep, but we will do our damnedest to keep you safe and keep her far away from you.
You are a sweet guy. I don't necessarily know it's going to work out the way you want it to.
I mean, you've seen our damnedest. It's not great, but
Well, you managed to stop her once, I suppose. Not the
Yeah,
second
we had
time.
home field advantage that time.
I'm not really sure she's here.
Oh.
I don't know.
Did you
It's...
believe she was the Winter Queen?
Well, I know for a fact she isn't.
Yeah, but like she never tried to make you believe that or anything.
No, it was how she first got me to trust her. But at the same time, it
Interesting.
took a while to feel that way. I always kind of felt like she was playing us against each other, Deity and I. I'm worried about him, too.
Okay.
Randy really
Oh
did
yeah,
bring him here.
from the sounds of things, he's not in a good spot. He's also like not a nice guy.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I
he's
could have
kind
told
of
you
a
that.
kind of a creep.
Yeah, I'm aware. He did raise me.
Kind of.
Well, I guess we should get another drink.
Yep.
And she rings the bell. Brandy. What are you doing?
Me specifically?
Brandy.
I think he said brandy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brandy. That's us.
Yeah.
Leaving
Okay.
the government building.
Leaving the government building. Are you
And
attempting to get anywhere in particular?
probably just go through all the different bars and try to find the
Okay.
group of idiots.
So I will say the closest bar to the government building is the Fly By Night. And as you are leaving the government building, you hear a voice call out to you, "Oi, Branwen, does Lord Erevin Euchel know you're here?" You turn around and see an unfamiliar face.
Unfamiliar face. Yes, he does. I've been granted temporary leave.
Hmm.
Who are you?
Who I am is really not of importance. At least it's not as important as a banished duelist returned to the place where she's not supposed to be. What brings you here? I've heard on the wind. It's business. Perhaps you'd like to clarify.
It's business.
The
Is it
creature kind of
slightly clearer now?
steps out of the shadows, and they are a rather frail looking satyr. Their knees uncharacteristically bow-legged, even for a satyr, and their hair trimmed quite short to the point where you can almost see the skin. And he wears a necklace of interlocking bones. And he approaches business, trading, selling something, selling secrets. I know buyers who'd be very interested in the right secrets at the right price.
What are you trying to say, dude? I don't know you.
I just think from interested parties, you'd be curious to know what you're doing here. You and your four mortal friends.
Business.
Business. I'll take that back. But no, it won't satisfy for long. We'll be
Hey,
Who am I
watching.
trying to satisfy?
Do you know secrets, or are you just ones that buy them from people.
Secrets is currency, lad. Buy 'em, sell 'em, trade 'em, give 'em to the right people at the right price. But I've got one particular person who pays the right price every time. So. And he'll bow and slink back off into the shadows.
Let's
You
go to
know
a bar.
everybody here.
I have no idea who that was.
That was a weird guy.
He what? Yeah, there's a lot of people that are that weird though. But yeah, no, I didn't like that. Oh God, this is gonna suck. All of this is gonna suck, Randy. It's
Also,
gonna suck so hard.
well, I'm just thinking like Earl King, isn't that a little bit redundant? That he's both an Earl and a king?
No, it's ERL.
It's one.
ERLKING.
It's one word. The Earl King.
Randy
Despise.
still asks that question.
You know what, Randy? Sure. Yeah, it's redundant.
I'll ask him about it when we see him.
Oh God, please
You
don't.
looking for the pals?
Yeah. I don't think they're in Fly By Night. That's like basically a sex club, and that doesn't seem like Cena's vibe.
No, but it does seem like Dunk's vibe.
That's you know what? And Willem would
And
absolutely
Willem's
want to go
vibe.
there.
And Cena doesn't have too much of a say in things right now, unfortunately. I think with
Well, I
those
feel like
two.
she just like wait. We could just check the lobby if Cena's in the just hanging out in the lobby, being really just looking like sad or something. Maybe that
Stupid.
they're there, but otherwise we could try another one.
Yeah, all right.
We check the lobby.
Okay, so you venture into Fly By Night, and Fly By Night is a multiple-story building, and you can even see like kind of flickering, different colored lights coming from every window. If you were familiar with the HBO television classic Succession, it's like Kendall Roy's birthday party, where just like everything is crazy. There's lots of lights inside, and as you kind of step in, you hear lots of competing music in this kind of like small foyer where you kind of branch off into three different doorways or go up the main stairwell. And there's a handful of people who are just kind of like lounging on like sleeper sofas and like what is essentially beanbag chairs. But all of the upholstery is very fine and resplendent. Like none of it is dirty or grungy or gives off the vibe of being like overused. Everything seems like it's almost brand new, and like this is actually like a pretty posh place to come and spend time. And as soon as you walk in the door, you hear like one of the women fairies who has like their hand over there. Welcome, welcome, loves. You've just come to the
We hear that
best
at all.
party. What's that?
We couldn't hear that first part
We
at
didn't
all.
hear that at all.
I said, welcome, welcome, loves. You just come to the best party in Silver Haven. Welcome to Fly By Night. Are you guys here for the special?
I just nudge Randy. I'm like, Cena wouldn't be in here dead.
I gotta get out of here.
We leave.
If you ever want to think about coming back, just party with us.
Okay.
We're
I
too
straight
nice.
up don't think I can be in there.
I'm gonna use that as an excuse next time I don't want to do something. I straight up can't be in there. Someone's like, "Oh yeah, do you want to go out tomorrow?" I can't be in there. What's the next one on the down the road?
The next closest would be the Vesper.
We go in.
Do the Vesper.
And I just have my hood up all the time that we're walking.
You managed to make it to the Vesper without being intercepted by anyone along the way. And as you arrive in the Vesper, thanks to your dark vision, you are able to spy your companions with relative ease. And as you situate yourselves down at the table and greet your patrons or your fellow party members, you see a handful of glasses have collected on the table already, and Willem, Dunk, and Cena will have to make Constitution saving throws.
Oh my god, they're all promiscuous girls.
You get to add my charisma modifier to your Constitution saving throw, so add a +2. I got a nat 1.
Willem is so charismatic.
He's so slutty. He's so
Yeah.
slutty.
Willem is feeling very promiscuous. He's very inebriated, and to the point where, like, you sit down at the table and he's just like, "Hey, girl, hey,"
His shirt's off.
just unbuttoned,
Probably.
heavily unbuttoned. Dunk, what'd
The
you get?
D.
Three
Such a
unbuttoned.
deep.
I got a 12.
It's a
I-
very deep V. If you look to the side a little bit, you will see nip.
Nice.
Dunk, you are not one for inebriation in general, but this is probably the most drunk you've felt in a long time, but mostly just tipsy. Steph, does your shirt say beans?
Yeah, I embroidered it myself.
That's so good.
That is so good.
It's my
That's pretty
beans
good.
shirt.
Um, oh wow, that's great. I'm distracted by it now.
When Branwen sits down, Willem will just go, "Wow, drinks are stronger here, huh?"
Oh god, what are you
I'm beginning to
drinking?
feel it in my fingers.
We're drinking promiscuous girls.
Oh no.
Cena is also just kind of rocking back and forth very gently, and like as you sit down, like gives you a very like big smile in comparison to like what she's accustomed to being soft smiles, and she kind of like looks around the table and she goes, "We're friends now."
I look at
That's
Randy.
so
Something is horribly wrong.
I'm gonna like grab Branwen's face in my hands and just be like, "I told you that you died. She didn't know."
Why are your hands sticky?
Do you want the answer to that really?
Oh, what have you been
The
doing here?
drinks are so syrupy here.
Oh, thank God. Um,
Cena will turn to you, Bramlin, and go, "Yeah, you died? What the fuck is up with that?"
honestly, it felt like kind of an open secret in the general household, so I'm a little surprised that you didn't
It's
know.
just like you guys, it feels like a weird thing to bring up, and I haven't really been a part of the household for that long.
To be
So
honest, it was one of those things that I thought I had mentioned at some point.
you have a tendency to forget things
That is
and to
true.
leave.
Willem goes, "Boom, roasted."
Yes.
Oh man.
So, what
Brandon
have you
sidebar.
guys been getting up to? Oh, okay. The table next to you is open. If the two of you want to step to that table.
Wait, who? Wait, who? What? I missed something with somewhere.
Brandy's got I say Branwen's sidebar.
Okay, yeah, sidebar.
Brandon, we can't take these people to the Earl King. He's both an Earl and a king.
I really don't even want to go see the Earl King.
We can't leave them here alone, though. That almost
No,
gets worse.
Oh no. No, we have to go to a whole separate city to go to see the Earl King.
Oh, so they'll be fine by then.
Yeah. Maybe? Probably. Sometimes things are weird here. I don't know, man. I don't know what they put in promiscuous girl.
Willem turns.
Yeah, as their sidebar is going on.
Yeah.
So with those how promiscuous are you how you feeling with those after those drinks?
Oh, I'm at a 10, and I think we should go party.
I'm thinking it's the pre-game's over. It's time for the big leagues.
It's time for the game. And I turn to Cena and I'm like, you trying to get weird?
Definitely not weird, but and she will actually kind of slide in like down the booth and into Randy and Branwen's conversation and kind of like slump against Branwen just a little bit and then pull herself back up and goes, "Oh, those guys are weird." But very friendly.
Yeah, they're
my God.
good people.
Dunk, should
Yeah.
we leave?
Cena, are you all right? Do you want like a cup of coffee or something?
We got some
I'm fine.
water.
I'm a fully functioning adult.
This is like giving me flashbacks.
Willem is gonna come over and he's just gonna like lean his elbows at the table and be like, "Me and Dunk are gonna go party."
Okay.
You can come or you cannot come, but we're gonna have a good time. So, peace out.
You know what? Why don't you guys go to Fly By Night? Go to that one.
That's where we're
That's
going, I think.
exactly where we're going.
Cool. Cool.
That place is
Awesome.
such a nightmare.
I am. Is that a good place to go?
No.
Yes.
Well, I hung out with you guys, so I'm gonna hang out with them for a little bit.
All right. Guess you're not
Suit
part
yourself.
of the cool team anymore.
Oh, darn.
I'm just gonna like sort of narrow my eyes at her as I chuck a deuce and walk out.
She gives you
This
a.
is just like the end of the night of my brother's wedding when everyone was plastered and I was sober. And they're like, let's go to bars. And I said, I don't wanna. And I did.
That's a great story. You should tell it again.
We went to Plaza.
Perhaps we should change the fact that you two are so sober, and you can tell me about your big special meeting.
It really sucked, honestly. Here, I just gave her the menu. I'm like, how about you pick out a drink for me? Whatever.
Okay. I've had my fill of promiscuous girls. Let's see here. What else do we have on here?
Crazy.
Pick out a mocktail for Randy.
Yeah, I'm
You-
good.
Uh,
Also,
Mocktail.
Okay, mocktail. I'll ask them to do non-alcoholic. She rings the bell, and after a little while, the gnome waitress comes over. She goes, "Oh, transferring the tab then. Those other two friends that you were with just left in quite the hurry." And
oh
Steve goes,
shit.
"Yeah, we can pay. We're gonna do 3. Sorry, give me one more minute."
Branwen's sidebar, and I just turned to her.
What is happening?
She
Don't
orders just 3 clover clubs. 1 non-alcoholic, please.
Oh my god, it's like your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dunk
Also
has
a real drink.
all of our money.
I think we canonically separated it out
You
did we?
canonically all have at least 100 gold now, I feel like, at this
because
point.
it really went downhill.
Oh, this is good. This was a good decision that you guys made without me.
Well, there's this.
That,
Okay,
that
so
wasn't
there's
meant to be passive aggressive. That was a Randy saying things.
well, no, see, Randy, there's this time we were in a really bad city, and everyone kept on asking us to pay the toll. I didn't have any money, so me and Dunk got
Oh
like.
my god,
hit
that's how
pretty
they got
rough.
me. That's how they got me. I didn't have any money.
You don't have 10 gold on you?
I didn't really have to carry money for like 10 years.
Oh yeah, no,
I
we
was,
usually have Dunk carry all of our money.
I was one of the most feared people on the continent, so.
Yeah, I got knocked out by a blonde woman, so
Oh, I hate her.
Oh my god.
She
I
was
don't
the
know what happened to
worst.
her. I'm pretty sure she came back to the mansion with us, but then she just disappeared.
Well, I think we probably left that place in not the best state. I felt kind of bad. Remember when we were playing that game, To Truth and a Lie, or To Truth and Fable? Truth and Fable is what we were playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said that I swam up the Chinook River, and yeah, that was kind of the night that I killed Edgar Drum, the chief of Conway's Ferry. Not really a shining, not really a shining moment in my life.
Wait, so you like swam up the river like stealthily to go assassinate a dude?
Climbed the whole building myself, snuck in through the drain
Okay,
pipe,
wait. Assassination and bad intentions aside, that sounds kind of rad as hell.
destabilized the whole government. Never be the same, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Randy
Wow.
looks
Okay.
distressed by this information.
Cena will look
Yeah.
up and kind of stare at you and just go, I did things I'm not proud of.
Same.
You and me.
Not quite like that, but same.
Cena has entered the dark past point of the evening.
Yeah, she
all-
has.
We've all done things, that's for sure.
Hmm.
If it makes you feel better, in this part of our little adventure, you're very much not going to be the most hated member of the party.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I'll take it.
You're welcome. Um. So yeah. I think we might go
It's
meet
like our
the
plan.
king. Yeah, no, I think we might go meet the king.
The Earl King.
Where?
Hylasera. It's like the capital. It's bigger than this place.
Branwen, make a history check with advantage.
Natural 20, baby. I don't need the advantage.
You know with absolute certainty that each of the four ruling lords and ladies, kings and queens, of their respective courts deal in their own capital city, and Hylasera is the capital city of the Summer Court.
Yeah, it's the
The, Ear-
capital.
the Earl King is the king of the Autumn Court
Oh
and
shit, I forgot
resides
about
in
that.
Old Hallow.
Oh shit. Kidding. I got confused. We're going to a completely different place.
Your
Halloween
home?
themed.
Your home?
I mean, eventually we might go there.
Don't you want to see your family? I'd kind of like to see the girl that almost killed me again. Make sure there's no
The
hard
what?
feelings.
Oh.
Oh,
So Randy, funny
yeah.
story. Um, I have a sister and she almost killed Cena. But I thought I helped Cena though, so no deaths happened at that occasion.
Kind of depends. She ran me through with a broadsword. Still got the scar. And she like kind of starts to like, but then realizes that
No,
she's
no, no,
wearing a
no, no, no,
dress and can't. She's like
no,
wearing a
no,
dress
no.
and can't. She goes, maybe some other time.
Brandon, your sister is Cena Stabber?
Okay, it was my ex. Okay, Cena was. It really did seem like she was about to try to kill us a bit more, but like,
Didn't seem I was definitely going to.
yeah. And my sister was kind of like behind her, so and she didn't really know what was the we things were happening very quickly, and there was a misunderstanding slash actual understanding, but unintended consequence of that actual understanding that turned it into a misunderstanding.
I need to go for a walk. And I stand up and I leave.
Okay. So
And
Branwen
before
and
I
Cena.
completely leave, I turn around and I go, make sure Cena's, you'll be fine. And I leave.
Branwen and
I
Cena are
sit there
left
for
alone.
a solid 30 seconds and I just put my head down on the table.
Okay. Branwen and Cena are left alone. Randy goes on a walk. Willem and Dunk, you
No.
inquire some
Hey,
passerbys on the street, and inevitably find yourselves at the main entrance of the Fly-by-Night, and are greeted by an unfamiliar sing-songy voice. Welcome to the Fly-by-Night. Try any of the doors. They're each individually special in their own amazing ways, or you can venture up the stairs for something spectacular.
I look at Dunk and I'm like, are we doing our own things or are we doing this together, pal?
You're muted, Dunk.
If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Is that any better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna put my hand on your shoulder and say, I would rather do this with nobody else than you.
Cute.
Let's get fucking weird, brother.
Do it. You want to just do you want to just kind of try the first door, or do you want something fabulous?
How many doors are there, Chris?
There are 3 doors and the stairway that leads higher up into the establishment.
I will gesture towards Dunk and say, pick at your leisure, my friend.
Um, let's see what's behind door number 2.
All right. You open up the first door and it leads into a cramped, dark hallway that leads further in ahead of you. There seems to be like a number of like fairies taking advantage of the fact that they're so small, just kind of flittering about in the main hallway, just kind of talking amongst one another and smoking on clove cigarettes. Um,
Did you just
uh,
say small?
I did.
Okay.
And they kind of lean up against the hall, like the wall, and don't like give you a dirty look, but also like don't look happy that you've interrupted their conversation. But you can clearly see beyond them is just rotating lights as pixies in jars fly around kind of spin around in a circle and illuminate the space, while a trio of performers play on violin, harp, and lute in the center of the room, while people kind of like aimlessly chat and kind of sway side to side, talking with one another.
How sexy is this room right now?
It seems like a perfectly normal club room, but like people are having a very
Okay.
good time.
Okay. Hmm.
Make an insight check.
30-20.
You have an immediate sinking suspicion that you probably misjudged this place.
Oh.
Oh.
Uh,
Hmm.
Are you sure?
are you sure?
Um. Hmm. Well, I mean, this place seems kind of like neat, I guess, but it's not really the vibe we were going for.
Maybe things are better in another room or upstairs.
Yeah, maybe upstairs is more the vibe.
Yeah. I'll sort of like mutter like, "Oh, dancing pixie is real cute" as I leave the room.
I'm gonna kind of give one of them a little wink as I walk out.
All right. Um, you walk back into the lobby, and the woman that you were greeted by earlier is now talking with a very well dressed, like to the nines, resplendent, kind of amber colored suit. Um, and she's talking to him in a rather like normal voice, like, "So, are you in town very long?" And then sees you exit, and greets you and goes, "Oh, was that not your style? What are you looking for? Fly by night is here for you."
Um, I don't know, maybe something with a little more leather.
Leather, leather. Oh, leather. Perhaps you'd like to speak to Vix. Vix is, she's upstairs, and she would certainly love to talk about leather.
I'm gonna give her finger guns.
All right. She kind of playfully finger guns back. And as you head upstairs, make an insight check. Actually, make a perception check.
I am also going to be telling Dunk how he is my best friend and he's the best, and I feel so lucky and he's the coolest this whole time. 6.
Dunk.
I'm sorry, that was 17. Couldn't do math.
Willem, you're too distracted by your current infatuation with Dunk to notice what is clearly noticed by Dunk, which immediately gives you the impression that you did not misjudge this place. Where as you walk up the stairs, there is a pair of individuals in less than any attire, um, seated by the stairwell, kind of talking amongst themselves. And as they kind of scan you as you enter the upstairs, the one woman turns to you, and the only thing that she's wearing is this kind of like crown of leaves atop her head, and she just goes, "Oh, visitors. The second floor is as spectacular as promised. You can pick any door you'd like."
Are you Vix?
No, Vix, she tends to go up to the rooftop.
Oh, Dunk is supposed to talk to her about leather.
Oh, I mean, if you're into clothes, I suppose there's no one better than Vix.
Is there like a cubby I could put my stuff?
Hmm. We could find something for you. Would
I
you
would
like
like
me
a
to
cubby
take
and to
you?
not be wearing clothing.
Well, why don't I show you where you need to be?
Cool.
Okay. She will escort you away, and Dunk, you're kind of left there by your lonesome.
Um, so I'm gonna say, well, when in Fey realm, and I'm going to uh doff my armor.
Okay. As you are removing your armor, a gentleman comes down from downstairs, from upstairs, with kind of two like colossal horns in his hands, like he's carrying like, and they're just overflowing with frothy ale, and he just looks fairly inebriated but overjoyed. He's still wearing all of his clothes, and as he kind of comes down the stairs and sees you disrobed, and he goes, "Oh, forget about the spectacularness of the second floor. Well, when in fly by night, I suppose. Good for you, son. Good for you. Listen, while you're here, got a question for you.
Shoot.
You ever dream about not dying?" And he takes a big swig from one of the horns. He goes, "Because I've cracked the case of immortality. If you're ever looking for a guy with two giant horns who's never gonna die, it's this guy.
My man. Um, whatever you're drinking, where did you get it? I'm gonna buy two, one for me, one for you.
Well, let me tell you, I'm celebrating because I have cracked the code. And the reality is, very few are exposed to this gift, but if you know the right people, you can live forever. So, drinks are on me tonight. You can go up and mention my name on the third floor. Archibald, the Undying. I got many years
Uh,
ahead, and I can't wait to celebrate them all tonight.
uh, so what's the vibe of the third floor? Am I gonna have to put my clothes back on?
I mean, most people are aware that people coming from the second floor tend to be doing some spectacular things, but they're kind of hanging out more, so you might consider re-robing. But at the same time, this is fly by night, man. Anything goes.
Heard, chef.
Chef, I like that. But you can call me Archie.
Archie. Nice. Um,
Archie, the Undying. Ideally,
dying.
yes.
So you mentioned got to know the right people. Uh, who are these right people?
A gentleman doesn't kiss and tell, and it looks like you're about to do a lot of kissing and not much telling, so I'll leave you to it. But like I said, you wanted beverage. Archie, the Undying. Mention my name. And he's gonna down one of the horns and kind of like just shift past you and press it into your chest and like tap you there so that you take the horn from him.
To not dying, and I will also
And I,
down the horn.
oh my god. Okay, God's above. Randy, you find yourself outside of the Vesper, with the ability, the night is yours. Where are you headed?
Okay.
Oh,
he's gonna leave.
Some connection issues
No
as of
problem.
now. It might be that I'm also downloading Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna stop doing that.
You're
All right.
downloading 180 gigabytes.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bar and just kind of like I'm just gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go around a block or two.
As you make your way down the
Not
block
too much.
and deeper into the city, you hear kind of the uptick of the current from the river below. And not that it's like getting too fast, but you hear its pace quicken. Um, and you follow it for a little bit and you kind of arrive at this rather luxurious and beautiful garden. And as you kind of look up, it offers the only unobstructed view of what you now see to be the night sky. So like there's kind of this cutout like circular hole in the tree line above that gives you a view of a just fantastical starry sky with aurora borealis kind of coursing through the air. Just an evening sky unlike any you've ever seen before, and you're kind of ensorcelled by its beauty before you finally end up like kind of breaking your gaze from the stars above and look down to this potentially even more beautiful like kind of gaping abyss that the river from four different places coming from the city just kind of cascades into, um, and bits of water kind of just fleck up into the sky in this kind of almost force field of crystal water trickling up into the air, where the water seems to be going in two different directions, as though the water has no beginning or end. And you're not really quite sure
Is
what
there
lies
a
beyond that abyss.
is there a cliff there that I can kind of sit on,
There's benches that you can sit up on and look into the
or a
void.
bench? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll sit on a bench. And I'll look up and I'll just Adara. Uh, Not that I trust you with kind of my entire being and my entire life. Um, but everyone's really dead set on this Thariel guy not being real. And I know you wouldn't lie to me. Um, I don't know. I knew this wouldn't be easy. And we're just at the beginning. So I just want to check in with you and let you know that I'm doing all right. I'm holding up. How are you?
You hear nothing in response. The
It
air is kind of silent around you except for the faint, kind of almost glassy trickling of water.
Has there ever in like the history of like my whole life when I like talk to Adara, has there ever been like any kind of feeling or anything that like I associate with like knowing that she's there?
There was one other previous time that you spoke with her not too long ago where you felt kind of like a gentle breeze on the wind. That kind of gave you a sense that she was listening, but that was just kind of your impression in the moment. Again, like your entire experience, like having conversations with her, happened while you were on the astral plane. Other than that,
Gotcha.
like you were only ever praying to her as a younger cleric.
Yeah. Um, Shit. And I get up and I head back.
Branwen, while you're kind of situated with your head on the table, Cena will kind of push the glass that has arrived at the table and like nudge your noggin with it. Um, and just kind of quietly says, "Turn that frown upside down."
You're telling me
Well, sad girls have to stick together, and sometimes you just have to decide that in this moment in time you're not going to be sad because the reality of the situation is, Branwen, I'm always sad.
that? Did you just almost fall backward in your chair?
I didn't know that like the thing was so yes.
Incredible. What did Cena just say? Sorry.
She said the reality of the situation is that she's always sad. So sometimes she just has to put on a brave face.
Okay, that can't be true.
No, I
Like
suppose it.
always, always.
No, there's times that I'm not sad, but there's always a reason when your life's like mine. It's getting better. It's getting better.
You went from real happy to like 20
Well, I
real
guess I'm
fast.
just
That's
I'm
fine.
just kind of pauses. Just, you're right. Sorry. And she takes a sip from her glass
From the Clover Club?
from the Clover Club.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
that's good. You should try some.
Yeah, I'll try some of my Clover Club.
It's very
What's
good.
in it, Chris?
Uh, I forget, honestly.
I think it's a gin drink, and I know it has raspberry syrup in it.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I think you might be right.
How do you not remember what's in your Clover Club?
Well, 'cause I don't remember liking it.
You just gave us a drink
Yep.
that sucks, Chris.
Well, I was trying to think of things that trying to make up names on the
2
spot.
ounces of gin, half an ounce of lemon juice, half an ounce of raspberry syrup, an egg white, and the garnish 3 raspberries.
Don't sound that bad.
Hey,
Uh,
Cena, can I ask you 2 questions?
Yeah, sure. Anything.
First one. What's your favorite animal?
Oh, that's a good one. A ferret.
A little ferret?
Yeah, they're so tubular. Just goes like she goes like
Second
this. Tubular.
like a little tube.
Yeah.
Second question. This is gonna sound really bad.
I've done bad things.
I can't think of the best way to phrase this.
Oh,
But
just say it.
What makes you so special?
I don't understand the question.
Like somebody paid Randy to take you somewhere. And I've just been kind of wondering why. There's something special.
I wasn't the only one.
Oh.
I think I'm the only one that Randy ever worked with, for lack of better words. But Trunchmer had been helping Davy find members of his cult for a while. In the beginning, we were just supposed to be fodder, people that get indoctrinated in. And I bought into his beliefs, and I don't know, no parents, so nobody to miss us. Well, I guess I got there and I said I wasn't just going to be another name lost to history, you know? Figured if I was going to be a nobody, I might as well be a nobody that did something. So I proved myself. I was really good at certain things.
It's swimming.
Yeah, I like swimming.
I hate swimming.
Why?
I don't like water.
Any particular reason?
When you die in a flooding tunnel, it kind of ruins it for you a little bit.
I get that. I'm sorry that happened to you. And if it's any consolation, I'm glad they brought you back.
Sometimes I feel like I'm more trouble than I'm worth, but I'm also glad, I guess.
Boy, tell me about it.
Oh my god.
I get what you mean there.
Start a club.
Yeah. We'll make jackets.
Oh my
Sad girl
god. Let's
club.
get jackets. I make my my armor look like a jacket. Like a cool jacket.
She sees that and she's like, "Oh my god!" Sad girl society. She kind of holds up
Oh
her
my
fist.
god. There's just a little pin. It's so cute.
Randy, you return to Branwen and Cena. Like you see Branwen, you enter as Branwen's like changing her armor to resemble a Letterman jacket that says "Sad Girl Society" on it.
Branwen, I have an idea. You look great, by the way, but I have an idea.
I thought you were mad at me.
No, I'm not mad at you. I look. There's got to be there's a place around here probably that it's got like a bunch of books, like a bunch of knowledge, right?
A library.
Yes,
Exactly. Yes, a library. We should go there and we should read about Thariel, who is real, and we should just figure everything out there. We don't have to do this all this Earl King shit. It's very clearly very uncomfortable for you. I can just look at books for a while and figure everything out by myself. It's fine.
Okay, so you can go to the library and look at books. I have to go there now
Why?
because I swore it. I kind of have to now.
Oh, why'd you do that?
Okay, I feel like we're gonna be tromping all around this place trying to find this guy, and we can't do
Yeah.
that if I'm slightly an active fugitive.
No, okay. That's a fair point. So I'm just thinking maybe I dink around the library tonight, just kind of get to know what I know. Just point me in the direction. I'll be there. I'll meet you guys in the morning. How about that?
Okay, it's down the street. Take a right, take a left, take another right. Look for the children's section.
Okay. I like your jackets. You both look sad, and I leave.
Willem and Dunk, um, you continue to be in the fly by night. And Willem, after, a couple of minutes of being in a private room with this less than clothed druid, she will turn to you and say, "So, what brings you here tonight to the fly by night?"
I just got out of a bad relationship, and I'm just looking. I'm new in town, and I'm looking to make some friends and have a good time.
And what, pray tell, is a good time to you, darling?
That is can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. What does a good time mean to you?
It's not for me to decide, but I can tell that you look lonely and sad. Perhaps I can fix that.
I'm gonna get up real close to her and just look through narrow eyes and go, "Are you a hag?"
But frankly, darling, I'm insulted by the question, but since you're paying, I'll let it slide.
I'm paying?
What did you think this was, darling?
I thought you were just gonna escort me to a cubby where I could take my clothes off.
Um, wow. How old are you?
I am 18 years old.
Oh my
And I say
god.
that very proudly and put my thumb on, and I thumb my chest.
She kind of puts her hands up and backs away a little bit and then like covers herself. She goes, "Oh my god. Theodosia, you almost hundreds of years. Oh my god. Enjoy your stay." And she will slink out of the room.
Willem is thoroughly confused. But he will walk out naked.
All right. Dunk is there also, drinking from a horn.
You're drinking from an acorn?
A horn.
Is it a very. Oh, I thought you said an acorn. I was like, that must be a really big acorn.
Yeah.
Dunk, she just asked. I didn't know what was going on. She just asked me to pay for something.
I mean, you know where like we are, right?
I thought we were just here to have a cool time.
Yeah. I mean, a cool time where we pay people for sex. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I was not trying to do that. I was trying to find genuine companionship.
I mean, we could probably find that too.
Yeah, I put my arm on, or I put my hand on Dunk's shoulder, and I just look at him very seriously, and I go, "I'm ready to love again."
It's been one day.
That was fast. You sure you don't want to do some other stuff like first?
Like what?
Um, like
Like spend the evening with a sex worker?
yeah, yeah.
Nope.
Oh well.
I'm looking for companionship. Like, if you just, hey, listen, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I'm just looking to like hang out. And if something happens, it happens. But like, that's not specifically what I'm after. I am multi-dimensional.
Oh yeah. I didn't. I wasn't going to insinuate that you weren't. I
Did
just
you
thought
meet
that
anybody
after the
cool here?
promiscuous girls, you were feeling like a promiscuous girl. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I am. But I need to have a genuine emotional connection with somebody before I rush into something like that.
Oh, well, I mean, we can we can look for that too. You know
Cool.
what?
Did you meet
Let's
anybody cool here yet?
I met this guy who claims he's immortal. That was pretty cool. I don't believe him
Oh,
for a second, but he seemed to be having a good time.
that's interesting. Are you afraid of death?
Am I afraid of death? No. But um, I also don't think that I don't know. I think this guy was kind of nuts, but he seemed to be having a good time. Pretty chill.
You don't think he was being honest?
I think he thought he was honest.
Interesting. Well, if you want to go check it out, I'll come with you. I mean, I got nothing going on right now. That lady like walked out because she was like, "Oh, hundreds of years," and I think she didn't know that I'm a child. I'm not a child. I'm 18. I'm a man, but you know, like relatively a child.
Yeah, I guess they're not used to people with like our lifespans here.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't know how old I could be. Like, I don't know how long I'll make it. Nobody does.
no. Um, I'm good to. Why don't we check out this immortality thing? Um, would you feel more comfortable with clothes on?
No.
Awesome.
What about you?
I mean, the vibe here is clothes optional, and they're already off. So
All right, let's go hang dong
that's
and
the
talk to some
option.
folks about living forever.
Yeah, that's the option I'm picking.
All right.
They are absolutely about to join an MLM.
Both of you head downstairs, and the familiar sing-song voice Oh, you had a spectacular time. However, the first floor is closed, not optional. Denizens of the second floor are more than welcome to take their clothes off, but denizens of the first, third, fifth, and seventh floors must have their clothes on.
Wow, that's a lot of floors. Begging your apology, Willem will say, and sort of duck his head and run back upstairs.
Obliged. Randy. Actually, no, we'll stick with our group here for a little bit. You head off in search of the Archie and find, or rather, which you have two doors. You know he went downstairs. You have two doors that you haven't been in. Which would you like to go into?
Um, let's see. I guess
Door number
the
one
first
or
one.
door number three? Okay, door
Yeah.
number one. You enter into door number one and find like what is essentially a very like boppin' ballroom. Like it is crystal in nature, white floors, white ceilings, white walls, and just epic crystal chandelier hanging in the middle, and a large, big band of brass and stringed instruments is playing in the far corner, while all manner of fae, a lot of gnomes and satyrs, doing like jigs in circles around, and there's kind of a um, tiered wall, like not a staircase, but like leveled ballroom towards the back of the room, where tables and the rest of the bar is kind of situated, and you do see Dunk Archie kind of holding court with a number of peculiar and fantastical looking creatures that are quite new to you.
I'm just gonna walk up and give him a big old smack on the shoulder, like a friendly smack on the shoulder. Hey,
He
We're the
RJ.
only naked ones in here, by the way.
No, at this point you would have had to have put clothes on.
We had to put clothes on.
Oh, we're still downstairs. Got it. I thought
Yeah.
we went back up.
Yeah, you had to go upstairs,
Okay.
put
I
clothes
was
on,
gonna
and
say
then
it would
come
be
back
very
down.
awkward to be naked right now.
No.
It's not
That's why they're
my
required on the first floor.
Okay, gotcha.
And you kind of like he acknowledges you as he's talking, and he's just like regaling folks with his plans for his very long life. So he's like, I'm going to see the world, experience things that have never been experienced. I I might even go to the material plane. Not many immortal folks there. Here in the Feywild, they think that only the Archfey, the kings and queens, the lords and ladies get to live forever. But not Archie. Archie will be, when the sands of time grind their golden palaces to dust, Archie will be there. Archie the Immortal.
Archie, how'd you get immortal?
Oh, it's Archie the Immortal. My horned friend. And, like I told your furry friend here, apologies for not catching your names. You just have to know the right people.
Did you make a deal with anybody by any chance?
What I would like to really consider is that there was a point in my life where there was an end, and now there is no end. I've got a wife and daughter at home who no longer need to be worried about dear old dad kicking the bucket because of some uncurable illness. Archie the ill? No. Archie the undying. The undying sounds better.
Archie, did you make a deal with anybody for your immortality?
I don't really like being asked the same question more than once. As I said,
Oh,
it
well, I
just
didn't hear you
takes
answer the question.
knowing
I'm
the
pretty sure you
right.
broke up on me, full disclosure.
Oh, I went on a long soliloquy about how it takes knowing the right people.
Oh,
Who's this right person?
Well, that's, it's a hard question to answer. They come to you in an hour of need, when the sickness was too much, and I thought that my wife and daughter would grow up without me until their own deaths. But no longer. Strike of fate, I suppose.
Willem is gripping
Oh,
the edge of the bar and just like digging his fingernails into the wood now.
The bartender will approach you and say, something I can get you.
Yeah, sorry. I'll just have like a glass of water. I've been drinking a lot and I feel like I need to clear my head.
Sure. If you head up to the fifth floor, it's a relaxation center. They give massages if you need it. And he kind of passes a glass of water over to you. He goes, and if you plan on staying the night, you can send them to your room as well. Rooms are on floors 6 through 9.
Dunk, could I have a word for a second?
yeah. I'll grab another maybe not a promiscuous girl, maybe shit might be getting real
Sure.
beverage.
Got it. We call him the Anderson Cooper.
The Anderson Cooper. Okay.
Yeah.
I will have an Anderson Cooper and then step on over to Willem.
Dunk. I have an inclination that this man has been fooled into a deal with a hag.
Yeah, I was getting that.
I hate hags.
You want to go? I was planning on messing around in one way, but we can go mess around and fucking find out where this hag is.
Let's ask some questions. I also don't want to get in the way of your fun.
Killing hags is fun.
Oh. Yes. Yes, it will be. I'm gonna approach Archie again and say, excuse me, if one were looking to make a deal like yours, is that
No
something
deals
that
were
you
made.
could help me out
Brother,
with?
brother, please. And he's gonna kind of turn to the rest of the crowd and be like, "Excuse me, folks. My friend here has, well, he needs some advice on how to handle his life from Archie, the Immortal. So if you'll give us a moment." And there's kind of like a collective, like, "Aw," from the crowd as they disperse back into the jig and dancing. And he's gonna kind of turn to you and he goes, "I'm a big fan of your friend. He's got great vibes, and he doesn't ask too many questions. Now, why exactly are you trying to rain on my proverbial parade of
Oh.
immortality?"
Oh, I am looking to do no such thing. It's just, you seem to be having such a good time, and
And you seem to
I've been
be
having a
such a
bad time, and I'd like
downer.
to have a good time too. Well, you're entertaining a crowd. It seems like you lack attention and questions about your immortality. Just
No,
ask
no,
me
I
some
like
more.
questions about Archie. I don't like questions
Yeah.
about the immortality part.
Oh, well, earlier it was very important that I call you Archie the Immortal and not Archie, so I
No, no,
kind of
no,
got the
no, no.
sense that both were important to you.
It, it continues to be important. The name is important. How the specifics are
Mhm.
not, because at the end of the day, I am a man. An undying man, to be sure, but I want you to know the man beneath the surface. And that's all, that's what I'm here to do. We're celebrating my eternal life because the world has been gifted more Archie. Isn't that something you're grateful for?
I've never been more grateful for something in my life. Willem says, stifling rage.
I am absolutely grateful, Archie.
Thank you. Can you explain to your mismannered horn friend here that there's nothing to be so angry about in this world?
Maybe there would be some things to be angry about if you're not immortal like the great Archie the Immortal.
Leans back and thinks for a second. He goes, "You're not wrong, my friend. I do understand what you mean.
All of us
My
here.
yeah, my
Look,
friend, I am sorry if I have upset you. I understand that there might be people out there like yourself who are jealous of the undying part of my name. But let me assure you there's nothing to be jealous of. If you want some background, I was down in a bad way. Cleric
Yeah,
said
sick,
I
wife
wouldn't.
and child. We heard you earlier. Yep.
If you're going to interrupt the story, I really don't think that we have much to talk about.
Sorry, it's just my problems are very pressing, so I was feeling short tempered.
Problems could
Please
you
go
have?
on.
You're in the fly by night on a beautiful night. I saw you go into the to the room with Theodosia. She's pricey, but so I assume you must be well off.
Yes,
Good.
incredibly.
Good. Right. Make a deception check.
We are pretty well off though, right?
Yeah.
Gotta look at the character sheet for the deception modifier. 15.
Exactly. See, I didn't have much. I was in a bad way. Sick. Dying. No longer. Nothing can kill me. Certainly not time.
Mm-hmm. So,
Randy. Go ahead, Willem.
oh no, I was just waiting for him to continue his story.
I know. He'll kind of pause there, and we'll pivot to Randy, who, following the directions provided by Branwen, arrive. Hold on. At a great tree, clearly similar to the archways that you passed under earlier. It's kind of built in the shape of a great tree. And a sign on the outside indicates that it is the Elder Tree Library. Um, and the carvings on the outside mirror kind of what bookshelves would look like. So there's actually like individual etchings of the books within the walls of the wooden carving. Um, and a pair of individuals, including a dryad, are walking in the opposite direction from the library. And they turn to go, "Oh, I'm very sorry, dear, but the library is closing for the evening. You're more than welcome to come back tomorrow morning."
Library, more like library tree. Am I right?
The dryad looks at you and chuckles. "That is very good. We ought to consider that for a new name. What is your name?"
That's. I'm Randy. It's nice to meet you. And what is yours?
"Randy, it is a pleasure. You may call me Petal."
Petal. Very nice name.
Thank you.
Is there any way that you could keep the library open just a little bit longer? It's a matter of life and death for a lot of people.
Life and death. I love books as much as the next person, but that is not an excuse I've heard in some time. Surely you can't be serious.
I'm rarely serious, but I am now.
Make a persuasion check.
Nat 1.
Well, dear, if you truly think it's that much of a trouble, you can come by first thing in the morning and I'll open the library for you.
You got it. Thank you, Petal.
Is there someplace you're staying in town?
Probably. I don't think we've actually figured that out yet.
Are you saying you came all this way just for the library?
Yes. From another plane. The material one. If you can believe it.
Did you come through the Nexus Gate?
The what?
And you say you come bearing the news of life and death, and you come from the material plane.
Well, your plane should be okay. It's my plane that's. I've been saying it's fucked, but I wasn't gonna swear in front of you immediately.
I appreciate your candor. Fine. We will reopen the library for... Well, why don't you tell me what it is you're looking for? Perhaps I can help you.
I'm looking for information on a Thariel.
A fantasy creature.
That's what they've been telling me, but I don't believe them. I talked to my goddess. Adara told me that that's who I had to find, and I fucking believe her because that's why would she lie? Why would a goddess lie to me? That's insane. Sorry.
No, I understand. Your aggression is merely fueling the sentiment. Wait here, if you please. I'm just going to kind of turn back and leave into the library with her companion. And you kind of
Holy
stand
shit.
there for about 10 minutes. Um, and she will return with 4 books in a neat pile and kind of bound with a twine string. And she goes, I would ask that you return these at your earliest convenience. Because the library is closed, I did not put you through the normal measures, but, well, I admire your passion. Like I said, this is a fairy tale, but there's one book in there that speaks of him a bit differently. I'll be interested to see what you learn.
You guys fucking rule. You saved my life tonight and the lives of several billion. So thank you. This is great. You're
Well,
wonderful.
thank you, I believe. Before you go, you said your goddess turned you onto this. Nobody else?
There was this guy, Zoltar. Yeah, he also mentioned him.
I'm not familiar with any Zoltar. Um, have you ever been by chance to the Wandering Willow? It's a rather peculiar venue.
Have I? I don't remember.
It is a Feywild venue, so you have not been.
Oh, then for sure no. No,
Well,
never been there.
You might consider talking to someone there. To be perfectly honest, their name escapes me, but they're one of the few residents of the Wandering Willow. But he's approached us with a similar passion. To be perfectly honest, it was very easy to write him off, but you seem to have your wits about you, so
Do I? That's
perhaps
great to hear.
perhaps we will have to request his forgiveness.
Yes. Thank you so much for that information. That's exactly what I was looking for. I'm gonna read all these tonight. I'm gonna return them. Yeah, you've been so much help. Have a great night.
Good night, Randy.
And I'm gonna go back to the bar, kind of like thumbing through the books.
Okay. You have in your hands Echoes of the Fae, Ballads and Poems, The Lore of Feywild Creatures, The Dreamweaver's Path, and The Feywild, A Traveler's Guide.
Could you send those to me via DM?
Yes. And I will also, assuming that you do not take a long rest and spend the night reading, I will
That's
say
the
that you can
plan.
get through at least 2 of them, given their length, and I will send you, you get to pick which 2. Well, actually, no, because I'll know which 2 are shorter, and I will tell you the notes from those.
Oh, uh, I'll flag down the dryad and be like, which one of these did you say talks about him a little bit differently?
It is the thicker one, so you would be choosing 1 book over 2 to read through the night. But that would be the Feywild, A Traveler's Guide.
Got it.
You arrive back at the Vesper with Branwen and Cena, who look particularly weary. You do know, Branwen, that the Vesper offers rooms, but you're not quite sure what's up with your other companions.
You know, how about we just the three of us split a room and then shit.
Yeah, that
You know
sounds
what?
good to
They
me.
can figure it out. They can figure it out. We'll split a room.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Yeah, Dunk's responsible. They'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll make sure Willem doesn't do anything stupid like pick a fight with like a I don't know, like immortal archfey or something like that.
Definitely like wouldn't. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Let's stop thinking about it. Let's stop thinking about it.
Yeah. Check out all these books.
All right.
Yeah.
You all pick up a room at the Vesper. Willem and Dunk, you continue to your confrontation with Archie the Immortal.
We're not having a confrontation. We're having a
Yeah,
conversation.
we're having a conversation.
It's different.
Man, Archie, I'm just so impressed. It's like I almost wish I could just like ask Thariel for it. And I'm gonna gauge his reaction.
Mario, like the children's story.
Children's story? What? No, the Thariel, the great mystical being. Yeah?
Like the patron saint of like books.
Patron saint of books.
I don't know. He was like everyone that my parents used to tell me that's how I got my daughter to read. Thariel is watching, so you should read.
Uh yeah, that's the one. You sure he doesn't give out immortality too?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, so I guess you haven't met him then, huh?
No, I have not met little fantasy creatures.
Okay.
So
I didn't think you did, by
if
the way.
if someone were to have a problem that immortality might be a solution to, how would you suggest they go about solving that problem?
Make a persuasion check.
Not great. I attempt to persuade 14?
Look, friend, since I became Archie the Immortal, the Undying, today,
The Deathless?
that's a good one. Everybody wants to know the secret to my deathlessness.
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody is immortal, then nobody is immortal. So
I don't.
I would say to you that you have to know where to look. And where to look is not that far outside of Old Hollow. But you gotta be looking for it, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. You were. I I would like to apologize for my earlier hostility. This is very helpful.
It's my pleasure.
So
And I can only
I've
imagine
had a
in
bad
my.
run of it.
No,
Been
I
through a
get it.
rough breakup.
I get it, man. I can only imagine in the many, 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 many years ahead of me that I'll deal with people who are unhappy with my gift, like you. Life gives you lemons. You sometimes just gotta say, fuck the lemons and bail.
And be immortal instead.
And he's gonna kind of stand up, slap a enormous pile of gold on the counter, and goes, "Don't need gold when you're immortal." And he will leave the bar.
I'm just like subtly shaking with rage. Like a fucking chihuahua, just vibrating out of my own existence.
You look like you could use some fifth floor kind of intervention. Why don't we go?
He's making
Or-
deals with hags, Dunk.
Or if what would be more relaxing would be going and killing that fucking hag, then I'm down.
Listen, listen, you are the best. Your support always is really appreciated, but I think we have other things to do right now. And if we tried to go off and kill a hag by ourselves, I do not think it would end well. So we should probably find the rest of them and talk this out like common, reasonable people.
I suppose. I suppose you're right.
But god damn it, do I want to go looking for a hag?
You know, every hag that we take is one less hag in the world. But you know what?
Are you
think
trying
this
to
end of the
encourage
world-
me right now? Because you are encouraging me.
I think this end of the world thing probably. I think you're right. But if we have time after, like, I am all the way down to kill this hag after we save the world.
I just give Duncan a praising look and nod my head and go, "You're a good friend. Maybe the best friend."
Killing hags is what friends are for, right?
Helping your friends with their traumatic backstories. Oh, by the way, you're still dying, right?
I am still dying, and I don't really know what to do about it. I imagine Drakenvoss has something to do with it.
You're really chill about that, especially because we just talked to a guy who was talking about immortality. Are you good?
I'm good. You know, I kind of tend to forget about it, uh, because I'm pretty good at not dying so far. But I don't know. Drakenvoss being able to spy on us through me is probably a bit more problematic than I'm letting it be, you know, in my head.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of forgot about that, to be completely frank with you, and I'm not comfortable with it.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess at least we gave him a bit of a show walking around.
Oh, yeah, Willem looks suddenly to the side, sort of panicked, and he goes, "Did Drakenvoss see my dick?"
Absolutely. Um, Sick
Oh.
dick, by the way, though. I'm gonna hold up.
Oh, thanks, man. You too.
Yeah.
Just monster hog.
Oh my god.
It's not just about size, you know.
Yeah, but like, you got it in spades, man. Anyway, maybe we should like Sorkin and go
Anyway,
back to our friends.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole spying on us thing is probably bad. And maybe I should bring that up before we have any more conversations with the rest of the crew. Because
Willem is gonna look down
I don't want you to know about
at his hand, and his other hand is gonna go to the sword at his side and go, "You want to swear a blood oath?"
it. With all due respect, no.
Oh, oh. You don't even want to hear what I was gonna propose?
Um,
No, it's fine.
yeah,
I thought we were really getting somewhere tonight, but it's okay.
we're getting somewhere. I mean, we saw each other's penises, so that's a pretty big bonding step.
That's like first base of friendship.
You
Second
know what?
base is blood oath, and third base is I don't know.
You know what?
Not when you're
We'll pledge a
friends.
blood oath.
Okay. Wait, do you want to hear about the blood oath?
I do. I genuinely do.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I will swear on my blood to help you with Drakenvoss and free yourself and stop yourself from dying if you will swear to help me kill my parents who are hags. My hag parents, my
Oh,
hagrants. Pair
hell yeah,
hags.
hell yeah, we're gonna get those bitches.
Okay. And Willem eagerly cuts his hand and holds it up to Dunk.
And we can do
Blood brother.
the Arnold Schwarzenegger, like I don't know the other guy's name, handshake from Predator.
Oh, you turned around on that blood oath real fast. That's super cool.
You, both of you, arrive back at the Vesper, and your walk back from the fly-by night is very quiet, and you find that the streets are rather empty, and you get the sense that it's probably pretty late at night at this point, just based on the course of the day that you've had. And you return and do not find your friends at the Vesper, but the gnome waitress approaches you and says, "Your friends went upstairs to a room. Would you care to get one for yourselves, or are you all bunking together?"
Oh,
We should probably let them sleep, right? Just get a separate one.
yeah, they're already asleep.
Yeah. We'll take the room next door, and if we happen to wake up earlier than, or they happen to wake up earlier than us, can you let them know that we're here?
You're more than obliged to do so, sir. You can pay when you're done with your stay with us, and we'll just add the drinks from this evening to your tab. It'll be no problem at all.
So sorry about that. We were in a state of inebriated excitement.
We completely understand. At the Vesper, we take no judgments of our guests. Now,
You mix a great drink, by the way.
thank you
Yeah.
kindly. That would not be me, but our expert bartender over there, Cornelius, and he kind of points to a spectacled dwarf who, unlike most dwarfs that you've seen, is rather like built and well framed, as opposed to kind of rotund. Um,
How
and
hot is this dwarf?
19. He is like vintage, like man bun, pulled back, leather apron, um, well trimmed beard, and like thin spectacles over his eyes.
Willem considers it for a second and then heads upstairs.
You all arrive at a very tastefully adorned room with two twin beds and a lantern lighting the space. Outside of Randy's reading, are any of you doing anything with the rest of your evenings?
I'm sleeping.
Lumberjunk?
Exciting, I know.
I guess
Lumberjunk?
we can talk about hags. and how much they suck.
Just
We
you
can talk
guys
about how
talking
you're
about
dying
hags.
and how much that sucks too. We can talk
Just
shit about Draken Boss.
Yeah, and talk shit about Archie, because if I knew
Dude,
nothing
that
about
guy
hags,
was a
he'd be my
fucking
hero.
idiot, and I know he's all like proud of being immortal now, but what he doesn't realize, or maybe he does, is that like he tried to stay alive for his wife and daughter, and he's gonna outlive them, and he's probably gonna get turned into like a fucking rock or something,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I
that's
mean,
gonna be
in
really
another
fucking
life, he
sad
would
and
be my hero,
embarrassing.
but not knowing about hags was or at least not like really knowing about hags was.
What do you think the odds are that it's actually a hag? Because that's sort of like I think I'm a little bit traumatized, and I sort of see hags everywhere now.
I mean, it's definitely suspicious. But
we got a word for that when I'm from. It's called suspicious.
sorry, I don't catch the reference.
Inglorious
No
Bastard reference.
reference over here either.
Oh well,
I'm sure it was a sick reference though.
thank you.
Um, yeah, no, yeah, it's. I'm sure it's a hag. I mean, you don't just become immortal like that, especially not some dumbass like that.
Yeah, it's probably a hag.
Or
It sounded
drunk.
like he also had some sort of arrangement because he was very desperate too, and that's like what they do.
Yeah, could have been drugs too. But
Do you think there's any such thing as a good hag?
good hag? Uh, that would be interesting. But no, I would like to think there could be, but no.
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep an open mind because it's not the circumstances of one's birth that determine their place in the world, but rather the conduct of their character. But I don't think there's any good hags either.
Well, I guess that just means
Good
we gotta
night.
kill 'em all.
Oh, well, that sort of sounds like genocide, and I don't think I'm cool with that. Much to
To
consider.
Yeah.
lay your weary heads to rest while Randy stays up nice and late reading from the Feywild, A Traveler's Guide, which actually references many times one of the other books that you have, and it's referring to the children's book, and it kind of refers to the children's book as a inspiration for this guide. So it refers to the Dreamweaver's Path, Journeys in the Feywild, which is a collection of children's stories, kind of from the perspective of a child sleeping and dreaming about different places in the Feywild and what they mean and where they're from and things of that nature. It's like, what's the children's book? Uh, the Treehouse Chronicles? No, the Treehouse.
The Magic
Magic Treehouse.
Treehouse?
It's a lot like the Magic Treehouse.
I read so much Magic Treehouse.
Yeah.
You don't understand. I read all those books. They're so
So
good.
the Dream Walker's Path is essentially the Magic Treehouse for Feywild children. And the
Great.
Traveler's Guide to the Feywild references it as the inspiration. So this was like a young Eladrin that grew up reading those stories. And essentially it goes to document the reality of those places in the Dreamwalker's Guide. And in the Dreamwalker's Path, and in the Dreamwalker's Path, Thariel is a frequent guide for the child, and essentially like serves as a master of stories, and kind of paves the way. Most stories and children's books, as the author of this traveler's guide, depict Thariel as a kind of spirit figment of the imagination, like a personal companion to the tales that parents tell kids, essentially like describing Thariel as a representation of the parent telling the story in these books. But in the Traveler's Guide, the author documents that all lore has a seed of truth, and that there must be some creature out there that fills this purpose, and he would be lying if he did not admit that his journeys and the documentation of these places was not in the interest of discovering Thariel. And while he was unable to find him, he believes there is no potential way that any person could capture the essence of these places so vividly and so accurately without a single source of truth.
When you say it's like Magic Treehouse, is there also a traveling treehouse?
No, the traveling treehouse in this circumstance is the child's dream. That
Got it.
in the Dreamwalker's Path
Hmm.
books, they
Okay.
are being escorted in their slumbers, guided by Thariel. And the Feywild Traveler's Guide that you are reading is explicitly a real life being going and visiting those places and finding they are just as described. And how could all of these things be so vividly and accurately described if not for a true being that knows of all of them?
Okay.
And with that, the night passes without issue, and you all awake and venture down into the foyer of the Vesper, where a light brunch is being like kind of it's a buffet style brunch where you can go up and grab things. Um, are any of you doing anything in particular this morning, or getting downstairs first?
I'm starting on the next book.
Okay. So I'll say, Randy, that you're already kind of situated at the table um, when the waitress approaches you and asks if you need anything.
Plate of scramble, please.
I'm afraid we only do buffet here in the mornings, but if you're looking for a place that serves ready-to-order breakfast, there is a wonderful establishment just down this. Well, actually, let me see if the kitchen can prepare something for you. I'm afraid the street is. Well, I hope you're not in any rush to get out today.
What? And I
Uh,
look outside.
You can't see anything in particular from where you are, which kind of calls you back. Well, just further down the road, the road out of town is closed. I'm afraid. Well, they found a body. I'm afraid.
That's probably not my friend.
No, sorry. Ah, goodness. It would be very. Uh, it's unkind of me not to to tell you it was one of the first things they asked. Both of your friends returned safe and sound last night, and
Oh,
should be
good.
venturing down at any moment. No, it is unlike us to have, well, really any bodies turn up in Silverhaven, but I'm afraid until we receive other words, it's best to remain indoors.
For sure. Yeah. Sorry about the murder. I'll just be sitting here reading.
Well, to be clear, I don't know if it's murder, um, and we don't want to be spreading dirty words like that. Just a body that's been found.
Sorry, yeah, unidentified body. Sorry about that for your community.
We
I
appreciate
arrived
that.
downstairs. A what?
Thanks. Apologies. It's just that you won't. I mean, you're welcome to venture out into the city, but I would recommend probably staying close to the Vesper. Unfortunately, a body's been discovered down the road, and I wouldn't
Ooh.
want you all to be. Uh, well, let me. What did I name the bartender? Cornelius. Cornelius,
Cornelius.
could you hear the name of the victim? It was funny. It's Archibald. Archibald the Immortal.
It
That
I
doesn't
sounds
guess that
sound
name.
familiar.
immortal.
I guess that name didn't really stick.
No.
And that is where we will end our session for tonight. We likely will be taking next week off for the holiday, but do stay tuned.
It'd be cooler if we didn't.
It would be cooler if we didn't, but we do want to give everybody the gift of the holiday season that should be afforded to them. We did receive another donation tonight, so thank you very much to Druid Dan for contributing. We are very close and have only 11 days until we are at the end of the year and $200 to go. So if you find it in your hearts and your souls to contribute to our Extra Life team, all of that money goes towards a very wonderful cause. And as I already said last week, it is a beyond pleasure to post this every week, and we look forward to doing this even more in the new year. And if you don't see us next week, at the very least, we hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, very Happy New Year, and Nat20Hot will return in 2024, and we look forward to spending it with all of you. So, thank you for joining, and have a great evening.
Bye, Zomboy.
Happy holidays,
As on
boy.
board.
Happy holidays.